Welcome everyone, Dr. Thor here with another fascinating mind training tool. Well, this is kind of an educational tool which falls into the rage that was going on at the time, trivia. I don't know how old people are out there, but trivia was huge. Everybody was playing trivia, including the movie stars who would go to bars and even stay home and play trivia. Never really got into it. Haven't found trivia to be anything more than a trivial idiot place. Who cares about knowing little bits of knowledge that have no value? Well, here's a brand new game from 1989, made in the United States by New Age Books and Games from Somers, Connecticut. Brand new. A matter of fact, this game has never been opened. Whoa! Never been opened? Well, that's right. This game has never been opened or used. We're going to open it right here. So, get to see it brandy new. Never been opened. Another Uri Geller. You can see that even in 1989, people still valued Uri Geller. And it's sad that this hasn't really continued, but I hope he's made his money from all this, because that's what it's all about, but he doesn't seem to have done anything of value. He is opening up his own museum in Israel. There's now a Uri Geller museum in Israel that has a lot of his paraphernalia, and the largest spoon ever made is in front of his museum. So do check that out. You can go to urigeller.com. He also has free books up there. If you want to read his free books, you can read them online there. So much free stuff online. We highly encourage people. Now, this is a very rare game. You're not going to find this hardly anywhere. But as usual, make sure that you like and subscribe to this video. Important to keep us going. Also, if we ever run into anything, we'll have a link down below that you may be able to buy one of these very rare items if we ever run into them again. We're always looking for stuff like this, and sometimes you can find them. Most people don't think they can even sell stuff like this because it's so weird. But let's look at this right now in terms of what it says on here. Mind to Mind is an exciting New Age trivia game everyone has been waiting for. Challenging, enlightening, and entertaining. Questions and answers trace New Age trends and philosophies from their earliest beginnings, today, and into the future. Mind to Mind contains 1,500 questions and answers in 3 separate categories. These categories are people, places, and things. Now here's a sample of it. People question: who is the lady who went out on a limb publicly with books about her experiences in the New Age? Who was that? Answer: Shirley MacLaine. A lot of people forget about her. She's quite up there in age right now, but her books were fascinating and cutting edge, and of course, she took a lot of grief for that. Places: which city in New England is famous for its burning of witches? Answer: Salem, Massachusetts. So this is the type of things in there. It's a typical trivia game. And of course it is something that, covers the area of interest that we're involved in. So, everyone should support these types of things. So here we go again. Good luck finding this. But will you get to see it as an IGOS follower? You get stuff nobody else gets. You have any of this? We're publishing a huge amount of videos on all things like this, and we're the only person ever to do it. Who else does stuff like this? Who else was the first to publish all the grimoires and translate them from other languages? Who put all the courses together in one place? Who had the first metaphysical radionic machines? Who had the first publishing of books in these areas? who put all courses together. I mean, it just goes on and on. Who had the first and only, to this date, radionic store in history? IGOS. You're lucky. Support us. Keep it going, baby. There's a lot more to get out there, and only IGOS is doing it, and you should know it. Don't listen to the frauds. Don't listen to the fools that want to suppress us. Support us and get the enlightenment out there. We're coming out with all breakthroughs and technologies. It's an exciting time going forth here. And of course, if you keep supporting idiots in these fields, buying crap technologies and learning their systems, well, good luck, baby. You ain't getting nowhere. It's IGOS or bust, baby. There is nothing better. And here we go with the unboxing. 1989. You're talking about over 30 years ago, this item was made. Here it is, brandy new, mint of mint of mint, never been opened before. Here we go. And do this with one hand ain't the funnest. Here we go. Is it exciting? What treasures are in here? Are there King Tut's gold in here? Here we go. So, exactly the way that it was made. Wow, kind of cool doing that, huh? Seeing a real. Here's New Age Books and Games, P.O. Box 58, Somers, Connecticut. I don't think they're in business any longer. I haven't heard of them. Maybe they're doing something else. What do we got here? Okay, well, here's an order form if you want to order another game. Well, that's interesting. They also have wholesale inquiries. You can send them your credit card number. The game back then, which is probably a fair amount of money, I don't know, $32.95 is what it would cost you to get this game. Here we go, and this is your typical Uri Geller actual signature, so if you have something or think you do. Made in the USA, that's how old it is. Wow, they give you this whole, look at this. Questions and answers. See if we get a page count here. It's quite a big book here. 250-page little printed book here. So, how does this particularly work? So these are all the trivia questions right here. So they're all in this book. They're not on individual cards. They're in this book that you pretty much do. Here's your typical play pieces. These are nothing special about these, unfortunately. Not too much thinking went into those. Just typical little play pieces for the use of the game. Here's your little spinner that you use in the game to decide which category you should be asked a question from. And this spins around. It's just a little plastic thing here. Oops, this is the first edition. Again, there are 1,500 categories. Just gives you basic two-pager here on how the game is used. We always like to let people kind of see this if you really are crazy enough to stop the tape and read it if you're that interested. We hope if we ever get to it that things like that will be printed and available on our website for free sometime. And here's the board. Brand spanking new, people. You can see that this has never been touched before. Of course, it's hard handling all this stuff and in tight spaces. Let's get this over here. So here is the actual board itself. So, with the man in the center. Let's see if we can get something here. I can see him in the center there. And you can play up to 4 players, and of course that's where the start is, and then you go around the board. Because it is what you get the questions right, you go around the board, and then you go through these things. You can see here's a Buddha symbol, yoga, Mayan type pyramid, UFO, chakras, Easter Island. Looks like an Eskimo totem pole. Looks like a person using witchcraft, a dove, Stonehenge. If we're getting these, let me get some light in here. Angel, it's like Washington, D.C., actual dowsing, astral projection, Japanese, what do you call those buildings? Runes, a wizard, unicorn, pyramids, yoga again, Mayan. Looks like these are now repeated on this side. And of course, it has some constellations here. Leo, what is this? Aquarius, it's a dove, a dolphin. And the back is just your typical game board. So it's very beautiful and colorful board. I wouldn't say it's got fantastic design, pretty cliche-ish in all the areas, but it's a fun, cool thing. And of course, where are you going to get that? And you've got, as I said, these 1,500 questions in the book that guide you around. So 1,500 is quite a bit, and that allows you to use this game with many people consistently, so that you have hours of fun. Who is often pictured on Valentine Day cards as the baby dressed in pink or red and carrying a bow and arrow? What is the zodiac symbol for the constellation of Capricorn? What book starts with "In the beginning"? According to legend, who was the Greek giant who rebelled against the gods and was punished by being forced to hold the world on his shoulders? What planet did Viking 1 land on? What is the color of the energy that comes off the apex of a pyramid? Well, that's interesting. Something that, I don't know. Who was the first woman in space? What was Buffalo Bill's real name? What island is Honolulu on? Is that New Age? Does the sun rotate? So it's very interesting, and those are the questions. And the answers are on the next page. So you would ask those questions, and of course they space it on another page that you have to turn so that people can't see it. Cupid, the goat, the Bible, Atlas, Mars. Apparently pyramids put out green energy? Interesting. So, William Cody was Buffalo Bill's real name. Oahu is where Honolulu is. So it goes through with all that, and it's a fun little book here. Trying to see if there's anything special. It's just the written things. There's nothing color. It's just standard print pages. They are not coded or anything like that. You've seen the actual board. Again, let's show that little spinner. And all it is a little plastic spinner. So there's nothing really special here. Anyway, it is colored, but this is plastic. You can see the bottom here. See how it's made. So it is a cool concept. It is a classic. You've seen it open for the first time on the planet that this game's been open. I don't know how successful any of this stuff is. They don't seem to last long. While there are interests in these areas, which are relatively strong, these kind of products generally don't sell all that much, and you don't see them that long. None of the games I've shown to you have been very successful. I mean, they are for a specialized audience. And this audience is very limited. I'm not sure how many people did this at the trivia craze. This is certainly would be something. But you know what most people do is they get the same old junky trivia that everybody else has used. There was a game manufacturer called Travia. I'm not sure who did that, who made that actually. But there was this, and it actually was whatever. Trivial Pursuit, that was it. Trivial Pursuit, they made many versions of it, and a lot of people copied that, giving you trivia in all areas. There's trivia for Lord of the Rings and so on. So there's trivia that was made for all sorts of things, eventually, any game, any of interest. And Hits is the only one. Well, there are other ones like this as well, and we'll be showing you that are more recent. I think one called The X-Files and so forth, which gone into kind of like this, covering all sorts of areas of this. Actually, there's been a few that have, because it's an easy game to make. You just got to make up all these questions, which really isn't too difficult to do. But this was the one that they put Uri Geller on. I don't know if he had any input into this. It doesn't state that anywhere. That he had any to do with it. They just put his face on it so that you could get, obviously, would attract you to it. There's really no mention that he had anything to do with the questions or anything else. They may have consulted him to a degree, but basically they just slapped his face on it to give it kind of a fun thing. Everybody does this with products, so it's just not the new age trivia game. Well, they put Uri Geller still in 1989 was